Hello, everybody. This is a little different. Uh, Welcome to the maybe first ever Real Deal Skype podcast thing. I don't know if it's happened before, but I'm going to pretend like it's the first because it makes me happy. This is a little bit of a special edition. We're going to be talking about the nominations for the 92nd Academy Awards, which just dropped yesterday. I'm Matthew Simmons. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Richard.
And I'm Tiara Spells.
And we are just what was that?
So I'm just excited to talk about the Oscars.
Oh yeah. There's
Yay.
definitely a lot of fun stuff to talk about. This is honestly one of my favorite times of the year. It brings out a lot of passionate people and a lot of deeply hidden emotions within myself. So
Angry people on Twitter.
Same time as Super Bowl season, and I'm always like, I don't understand the Super Bowl, but then I'm like, Oscars, yeah!
Oscars are my Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, for real.
Screw the NFL. So just a quick couple things to start off with. So this is the 92nd Academy Awards. The actual show will be on February 9th, which is really early for the Academy Awards. They're usually like around the end of February. This will be the second year without host. Last year they went hostless, and I thought it went pretty well.
I think so too.
Yeah, as long as you don't have like Queen opening up the Oscars, which just seemed like a really weird choice.
The movie was like, I get why they did it, but also the movie was like about Freddie Mercury. Like he definitely took the stage of that movie, and he's dead now. So it's like it was just I had so many questions watching.
Bring hologram Freddie Mercury on stage this year.
I agree.
Yes.
So
than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. Good start already. I love this conversation. So Joker leads the nominations with 11, followed closely by The Irishman, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with 10 each. So to start this off, I'm going to start. I know what Nate's overall thoughts are, but I haven't heard anything really from you, Tiara. Just what are your overall thoughts on the nominations this year?
My overall thoughts are disappointed but not surprised. I don't know. I just love all of what was nominated. I still haven't seen 1917, so I can't really say anything about that. But I didn't quite love. I don't know. It's just personal preference. I didn't love all of the movies that are being rewarded, and which is fine. Like, I still haven't seen A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood either, but like Marriage Story was just fine. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was just fine to me. You know what I mean? So I'm not particularly excited for a lot, but I am excited for Florence Pugh's nomination. We'll talk about later for Little Women. I love Florence Pugh. I'm so happy for her. And Doc Shorts, I was able to see a lot of them at Indie Shorts through Heartland. And In the Absence and St. Louis Superman were some of my favorites. They were my favorites, and they ended up being finals at Indie Shorts. And so it's really cool to also see them like get Best Doc nominations at the Oscars. So yeah, I'm excited. In the Absence is very sad.
I haven't seen really any of the shorts things, and that's usually my blind spot in the Academy Awards. So it's really cool that you kind of have the background and hopefully give me a little bit of a lesson about those things.
It's funny. In the Absence is on YouTube. So it's like a 30-minute thing. I can link it to you later, but yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out, definitely. So Nate, I want to hear from you now. What are your overall thoughts on the nominations?
See, I'm on a much different end than Tiara because I loved every film that was nominated. I mean, Joker's my least favorite, and I still really enjoyed that movie quite a bit. The fan base is annoying, and they're going to be annoying when the film doesn't win everything it was nominated for and just wins Best Actor. But I was a fan of everything that was nominated. Personally, I would love to see like Parasite win, or mainly 1917 or Jojo Rabbit. I'm super thrilled that Jojo Rabbit raked in all of those nominations.
Yeah.
Because, as you know, that was my favorite movie of last year. I adore that movie from the minute we saw it at Heartland. And it's not just because we got the swag there, but
it helped.
It helped. And it's just that I had some sinking feeling that that movie was going to be like snubbed big time because a lot of critics are like down on it and everything. But I was just thrilled to see that it received every nomination it received it deserved, except, I mean, I think Thomas and Mackenzie should have been nominated over ScarJo, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, well, we actually, good thing to leave that note off on, because the first category we're going to be going over is the supporting actress category. So we're pretty much just going to run down through the main acting categories, directing, and then picture. So we're going to start with supporting actress. So the nominations this year were Margot Robbie for Bombshell.
Hold on, can I interrupt you really fast?
Yeah.
Is that your mic that's like making sound in the background?
No, because I hear it too.
Or is it Nate's?
Is it gone now? Is it gone?
It's a little quieter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gone. I was switching my phone.
That's okay. Yeah.
But you didn't say your thoughts on the...
Oh, you're right. I totally skipped over myself.
You're like, oh, it don't matter.
All right. Well, I guess my thoughts are, like Tiara said, like, I'm not ecstatic for a lot of these nominations, but again, I'm not surprised by what's here and what's not. There are some major snubs in my mind, but we'll talk about those when we get to the categories. But overall, just kind of like, I saw a lot of these coming. It seemed like a lot of these categories were locked in way before the Oscar nominations came out, so just not a whole lot of surprises in my book.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, so we'll move back on to supporting actress. Thank you for recognizing myself where I fell flat. So we have Margot Robbie for Bombshell, Florence Pugh for Little Women, Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit, Laura Dern for Marriage Story, and Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, which I love Kathy Bates, but I was not expecting her to land here. I haven't seen... I haven't seen...
Richard Jewell and 1917 and Bombshell are like the main three I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
Have either of you seen Bombshell?
I have. And, I mean, I really enjoyed the movie. Overall, it's a very powerful movie, but I think mainly it's Margot Robbie's performance that is, I think, leaves the biggest impression.
Really?
There's I have a lot of issues with the film as well, despite being a fan of it. But I do think she definitely deserved her nomination, especially over her performance in like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Even though I love that film way more than Bombshell, I totally get why it was nominated. What she goes through in that film is, and the lengths she goes through in her performance really are impressive.
Yeah.
Anything sticking out to you, Tiara, out of this group? I mean, again, love for Pugh, obviously.
Yeah. I'm very... Did we just do supporting actress?
Yes.
Okay. Because I have both of them in front of me right now. Yeah, Florence. I hope it goes to her. It might. I don't know who it could go to though. I haven't really been keeping up with the award shows recently. I've been like skimming the results at the end, but so I don't know who's really in the running for the actual win.
I know in like the critic circuit, I know Laura Dern's been sweeping up a lot, and
Really?
I love Laura Dern, and she's great in Marriage Story. But if she wants to win for a performance this year, I'd rather see her nominated for Little Women over
Really?
Marriage Story. Yeah, she's so good in that movie.
Oh, I love Florence Pugh. I wanted to go to her just because of how much I love her. She's like an up and coming actress.
Mm-hmm.
She has been doing stuff for a little bit, but she really sort of hit the scene in this year. And
yeah, she's had quite a year.
It'd be really dope to see her pick something up.
Yeah, she's my personal favorite out of this category, but I'm pretty much guessing Dern's gonna take it. What do you think, Nate?
Definitely Florence Pugh is my favorite out of all of them. I just love Florence Pugh, especially just for the year she's had. She's basically an A-lister now, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I would love to see her win, because I think she's the next, like how Jennifer Lawrence won, and Brie Larson and Alicia Vikander, how they were young and now they're like superstars. I think if she wins, this will put her in that kind of spotlight as well.
I certainly hope so. She deserves it.
She does.
Is Dern is Pugh your pick for this year? Like, you the one you think is going to win?
Oh, I think Dern is going to win. No doubt about it. Especially she has actual ties in the Academy. She was running for the Academy president.
That's right.
Was she really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's got a foot in the door, and like, I'm not going to be upset.
No, she was good.
Laura Dern.
Yeah, Laura Dern's is just a treasure.
Yeah.
Big omissions though. No Jennifer Lopez for Hustlers.
I was not surprised by that, just because
there was
of the reaction of Hustlers. Like, I don't know. It just, people, I think, hyped it up a little too much. And they were like, Jennifer Lopez is gonna get nominated for an Oscar, and I was like, huh? Jennifer Lopez nominated for an Oscar? We'll see, but I think. Hold on, let me look. Sorry, you can keep going.
Yeah, Nate, I know there's one omission here that I don't think either of us were expecting, and it's for a movie that you love and I haven't seen.
Oh, Zhao. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but
she played Nana, right, in The Farewell.
In The Farewell, she was incredible, and I'm so hoping, because the Academy rarely nominates. I know I'm a white dude talking about this, but they rarely nominate Asian actors and actresses. They never do, and they had so many chances to this year, especially with her performance, which felt so raw and real. Performance felt.
That's another movie I haven't seen, The Farewell, yet.
You'll love it.
I did hear it was good.
I think you'll love it. But
I saw the trailer. Heartland did Peanut Butter Falcon for like the Truly Moving Picture Awards, and right before the Farewell, like a preview for the Farewell came on, and I was like, I want to see this. This looks good, but I just haven't had the chance to yet.
Someone. Oh, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You know more about this movie. I haven't seen it yet.
As someone who recently lost a grandparent like a year ago, the movie really stuck with me, and just her character really related to like my Oma and everything. I think a lot of people will see their grandparents when they watch this movie. It's not just like a cultural thing. I think this is a very universal movie, and she should have been nominated. She should have been like one of the front runners, and I am at a loss for words why she could have been snubbed.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the love for The Farewell was not there with the Academy. Completely shut out this year. Some people even hoped it would even make an appearance in like original screenplay or best actress or even best picture.
Screenplay category, real fast, is also sort of fell a little flat this year, I think.
So for original screenplay?
Yeah.
All right, so the nominations
Knives Out and Parasite, I think, were like some of the top But I mean, like I said, I haven't seen 1917. Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I feel like both of those seem like really easy choices. It would have been nice to see some more risky options, because they never really show love to horror or anything. Like Get Out was a total like
once in a million thing.
Yeah, it was like once in a blue moon, and all the planets align like perfectly. Like Get Out was an anomaly, because horror has really stepped its game up in the past couple of years, and we've only seen award love for Get Out. I would have liked to see like maybe a screenplay for Hereditary like last year, or
Midsummer this year.
Us this year.
Yeah, us. Lupita Nyong'o also.
Yeah, we will get to that, because that's just a disservice right there.
I agree.
But yeah, while we're on the screenplay, just real quickly, just major shout out to Rian Johnson, who can just go tell all the Star Wars trolls to just like go back to your trash holes or wherever you crawled from, because he's got an Oscar nom now, and for I think my favorite screenplay of the year. So it was really cool for him to sneak in there.
Yeah, same.
But also, I agree with you. 1917 for original screenplay seems kind of weird for me. It's not really a film that relies on like the structure of its screenplay. It's pretty much like a point A to B movie. And there's not a whole lot that goes on in it. There's nothing really interesting story-wise. So I'm kind of confused as to why it's here. I know it's probably just because the 1917 crowd and like the recency effect of it just coming out is pretty strong right now. But yeah, I would have liked to see something a little bit more risky in that spot.
Yeah.
Because 1917 was my second favorite. That was number 2 on my favorite movies last year, even though I just saw that last Friday. I don't get why it was nominated for Best Original Screenplay whatsoever, when even like Dunkirk didn't get a screenplay nomination.
Yeah. Oh, it didn't? I didn't know that.
So I just looked that up just now, and because when I made my own like mini awards on my site, I didn't include 1917. I know. The screenplay. Oh, were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say like it's just a really weird choice to me.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. So, do you any thoughts? I know we have some thoughts on original screenplay. Any thoughts on adapted from anybody?
Joker all the way.
Little Women all the way.
Adapted. I for one did not know Jojo Rabbit was an adapted screenplay.
Yeah, it's based off of a book, I think.
Oh, didn't know that. But they seem fine. I hope Little Women wins.
Me too.
Or Jojo Rabbit. I would appreciate a Jojo Rabbit win too.
You know what?
I think I take Taika Waititi. Like, I would love to see him. I would love to see him take that award.
Yeah. Although I think my personal bet this year, it's probably going to go to The Irishman, which is a fantastic screenplay.
I haven't seen The Irishman either.
It's fantastic. If you have 3.5 hours to sit through a movie.
Damn, I was really about to. Ooh, you might have to bleep me. I literally was like, The Irishman at 3 hours. I'm not gonna watch that. And then I watched Jean Dielman, which is a 3-hour like French movie. And the most that happens, she drops a spoon and burns some potatoes. And it's great. So I might have to stop being hard-headed.
If you can sit through that, then The Irishman will be no problem.
The Irishman, the pacing too is just, it doesn't feel like 3.5 hours at all.
Not at all. Which is just, it's fantastic. So let's move on to Best Supporting Actor. Probably the least surprising out of the nominations today, although you can make an exception for Anthony Hopkins for The Two Popes, but there's also Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Al Pacino for The Irishman, Joe Pesci for The Irishman, and then Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Me personally, I'll start off this category. No Song Kang-ho for Parasite is a missed opportunity because I think he is fabulous in that movie. Also, they gave the Academy has seen The Lighthouse because it picked up a Best Cinematography nom.
Yeah.
Where's Willem Dafoe?
He's nominated every year.
He does get nominated every year.
But this is I think peak Willem Dafoe movie where it's just Willem Dafoe's playing a lighthouse keeper who speaks like Captain Ahab. Where's this been my entire life?
It's real.
He's just phenomenal at it. But go ahead.
It's just that he was nominated last year for playing Vincent Van Gogh for a movie no one saw.
No one saw, but
that was a surprising nom for sure.
And he stole John David Washington's nomination for Black Klansman, so I'm still kind of pissed about that. So that's why. Yeah.
Very fair.
Yeah.
With anybody robbing Amy Adams. Okay. What were we speaking of?
Supporting actor.
Supporting actors. I have no strong opinions about supporting.
I think
I really like Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't think it's gonna go to him.
I agree. I think Pitt has this category locked.
Really?
I'm surprised that Anthony Hopkins is here for The Two Popes, a movie that I haven't seen, and I'm surprised more than 10 people have seen.
Hasn't Tom Hanks never won an Oscar before?
He's won 2.
He's won 2?
He won
Somebody said he's never won some sort of award, and that's... I don't remember what it was. And they were like, that's the reason these award shows hold no water or something like that.
Oh, it was because he hasn't been nominated for the last 19 years, even though he's been putting out some of his consistently best work for the last 20 years.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw that tweet too.
It makes sense.
Like Captain Phillips, I'm still not over that. Like how he wasn't nominated for that.
He didn't get nominated for Captain Phillips?
Nope.
No. His Oscars are stupid.
Not even Sully. Not even Saving Mr. Banks.
Dang. That's kind of fried.
Yeah. His last nomination was for Castaway.
Dang.
So
they're doing Mr. Hanks dirty.
Good for Tom Hanks for, I don't know what he had to do to get a nomination this year, but good job. I mean, he's awesome in the movie.
Amy Adams and Jake Gyllenhaal are in the same boat, Tom Hanks. It just means you're talented.
They're just waiting.
Yeah, they're just waiting in the wings. Amy is waiting for The Woman in the Window to drop.
Oh.
Have y'all seen the trailer for that, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, no. No strong opinions on that movie yet. It just looks like a Rear Window retread.
Yeah, it sort of looks like it kind of, from the trailer, I was like, you can tell this is like a book. A book. You can tell this is a book at one point.
Book is fine. It's not like, I wasn't big on the book that much, but I think she's actually has it maybe next year she's doing Ron Howard's big movie with Netflix. Hillbilly Yule, which also has Glenn Close in it. So 2 women who've never won an Oscar somehow.
I'm shook.
That's crazy. Yeah, it might be Adams' year. That I don't want to jinx it.
We'll see.
But Nate, any prediction for the supporting actor? Anything you would have liked to see?
Brad Pitt is my number 1 pick. He deserves it. Yeah. I would have liked to see Song Kang-ho as well, because he was phenomenal in Parasite, and out of all the performances in that incredible movie, his really stuck out to me the most. But yeah, Brad Pitt has it in the bag, but I wouldn't be mad if it went to Al Pacino or Joe Pesci or even Tom Hanks. I just don't. Anthony Hopkins, like The Two Popes, is good. It's a good movie. I just would have took Anthony Hopkins out of that nomination slot. Meh.
Yeah, that's exactly like a great summary of this category. Just meh.
Yeah.
Even though it's all great, it's like it's the same 5 people I've seen for the whole year.
They've all won before. I mean, Brad Pitt hasn't won an acting nomination. He's won for producing 12 Years a Slave, but he's never won an acting one. So I think that also will help him.
Good for Pitt though, because just the last 20 minutes of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's enough for him to win.
Yeah.
So speaking of the two popes, the Academy also seemed deemed fit to include not just one pope, but both of them this year. We're moving on to Best Actor. Jonathan Pryce nominated for the two popes, with Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, and Joaquin Phoenix for Joker.
This is also something I don't have strong opinions on. Yeah, I liked a lot of these performances, but I guess like the movies, I never really loved them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Leonardo DiCaprio was pretty good in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I know how hard it is for him to win an Oscar. So I don't know how likely that was.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen Pain and Glory yet, which I missed it at Heartland and I really wanted to see it. And like I said, I haven't seen the two popes. But yeah, DiCaprio's great in Hollywood. Joaquin, he's great in Joker and he's probably gonna win it. But Adam Driver has, hands down, like my favorite performance of the year, personally. Just out of everything, I think he just makes a really subtle, beautiful performance. And don't get me started on his rendition of Being Alive, which made me a disaster when I first saw it. But
I think he's a great actor. Adam Driver is a great actor.
He's kind of like Florence Pugh a little bit, where like he just all of a sudden he was just big and he was great.
Yeah.
Just right out the gate.
A lot of the younger actors right now that are sort of showing up are insanely talented and are like, they're like, we don't get to like, we don't have like the starter movies that everyone does. We're just winning Oscars from
Yep.
like Timothy Chalamet showed up and was like, I'm going to be nominated for an Oscar right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be the next big thing.
Yeah,
DiCaprio, what you couldn't do in 20 years, I'm gonna do in 1.
Exactly. Like,
shout out to Timothy Chalamet.
He was also in Little Women.
Yeah, he's great in that one too. What do you think about this category, Nate? I want to know, is there anybody you expected to see here, or is this kind of the lineup that you had been predicting?
I totally thought Taron Egerton would get in over Jonathan Pryce because, I mean, okay, first of all, Rami Malek won last year.
Don't remind me.
Singing karaoke, not even singing.
Or about
Freddie Mercury. Good, but Taron Egerton, like, he also gave a pretty incredible performance, and I don't get how he wasn't nominated. I would have loved to see Robert De Niro be nominated for The Irishman as well. I'm a little bummed that didn't. And I know you have thoughts about Adam Sandler not being nominated. I wasn't big on Uncut Gems, so I could care less.
I will pick on that. So Robert De Niro not being here for The Irishman is kind of a crime because he does some of his best work in years in this movie, and the movie doesn't work without him. And like you said, Adam Sandler, who I think is a ferocious performance in Uncut Gems, one that I haven't stopped thinking about since I saw the movie, which I personally love. I would have loved to see him sneak in here for Uncut Gems. But I'm not surprised that he's not here, and neither is Uncut Gems anywhere, because it's not really an Academy movie. But like I said, it's the Sandman deserves something once in a while. Okay, he can't just keep making grown-up movies and murder mysteries. He actually steps outside and makes something great, and it doesn't get recognized, and that's my rant. But honestly, I think this year, although I would love to see Driver win it, I think this is finally Joaquin's year to pick up his first Oscar.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
I just think there's an insane amount of support behind this movie, and it's the kind of showy performance that the Academy really likes to award every year. So,
thing. Sorry, did I interrupt?
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, well, all of Hollywood loves the Joker, because I was even reading interviews with Greta Gerwig loved it, which kind of surprised me a little bit. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge, because I'm on a Fleabag high, because I've been watching that show. That's, oh my god, right? That's for another day. But yeah. But I don't see a world where Joaquin Phoenix doesn't win.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. Joaquin, I personally, I think he gives much better performances in The Master, and especially Her, which I think he should have won for Her, because he's fantastic in that, and he's one of the best working actors today. I don't know, seeing him be nominated for for Joker, just I don't know. I mean, I'm happy for him to win, but
Eddie Murphy.
Dolomite is my name.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed there as well.
Going back to supporting actor, if this was a Pure and Good World, Wesley Snipes would be nominated too.
Yes.
He's so good in Dolomite is my name. Made me laugh with every single look and line reading. Just fantastic.
Yeah. What we can continue. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was doing.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure everyone has their thoughts. So, is everyone okay moving on to Best Actress?
Yes.
All right. So the nominees for Best Actress this year are Renee Zellweger for Judy, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, Scarlett Johansson again for Marriage Story, and Cynthia Erivo for Harriet. So I guess this confirms that people actually went to go see Harriet,
which I was surprised by.
Yeah,
I think there were better performances. If they wanted their token black nomination, there were better performances.
Mainly Lupita Nyong'o for us.
Lupita Nyong'o is right there.
I mean,
right there.
like we talk about a lot, and I'll talk about for the rest of my life. The Academy has such a big horror bias, where Toni Collette getting snubbed for Hereditary last year it still hurts. But the work that Lupita does in Us is arguably next level, and might be one of those horror performances that people talk about, forever. And her not being here, and then putting up Cynthia Erivo, who I haven't seen Harriet, and she's a fantastic actress, so congrats to her for her nomination. It just rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people who didn't love the casting choice of Cynthia Erivo as Harriet Tubman. It was sort of controversial. I would always see arguments going back and forth in the timeline of African people of African descent from America and of African descent in UK, and there were lots of arguments that I would see about who who is really Black and what it means to be truly Black, and how truly different is Black British culture versus Black American culture, and it's complicated is I guess the best way to explain it. And I don't think this nomination is a good look, but I don't hate it just because I haven't seen the movie, so I can't totally judge it. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, and I know a lot of people were upset that there's only one actor or actress of color getting nominated this year, and it's for a movie where they're portraying a slave.
Yeah, I've also
problematic in its own right.
Yeah, I would have loved to see some more love of other films that dropped this year. Something I was happy to see was Hair Love getting nominated. It's an animated short, and it's so cute. And I was so happy to see that, because I remember seeing years ago, like, first drawings of like this short film, and seeing the director and seeing the film like go through the process of making it, and like it's getting nominated for an Oscar. Like, that's so cool to me.
Yeah, it's a really cute and well done short film. So I'm happy for that as well. Nate,
Issa was excited about that too.
Yeah,
really?
that was really cool to see.
She's friends with the guy Matthew Cherry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's dope.
Something about she has. I'm not sure what it is. I just read it somewhere. But what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, do you tell me your thoughts about the Best Actress lineup and maybe a potential snub in your eye?
Did I say a certain word that starts with an H, ends with an L?
I mean, you already said pissed, so why not?
Okay, where the hell's Awkwafina?
I knew that was coming. Yep, like you said, you're the only one here who's seen The Farewell. And I know ever since the nominations, you've been very adamant about this omission.
Yeah, I totally thought she was going to get nominated because she was incredible. She had almost every moment in that film is like her Oscar clip moment. She is outstanding in that movie. It gave one of the best performances of last year. I mean, I also really like Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story, but to me, just to see Awkwafina, how excited she was to win at the Golden Globes and everything, her speech was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so beyond disappointed that she wasn't nominated and that Lupita Nyong'o wasn't nominated. More than J-Lo. I could care less about J-Lo. I mean, Awkwafina and Lupita Nyong'o, they should have been nominated completely. I'm just confused why they weren't.
Yeah. I agree with you there. It's another just one of the very many missed opportunities that the Academy is kind of known for. But to turn this a little bit more positive, I'm really happy to see Scarlett here. Saoirse also making it for Little Women is impressive, because she has, is it 4 or 5 nominations now?
Ooh.
And she's like mid-20s, and the only person to ever do this in history is Jennifer Lawrence.
She's been nominated for Atonement. She's been nominated for Brooklyn, Lady Bird, and this.
Okay.
Wow. She snapped. She really had something to say. Miss Saoirse Ronan had something to say with all these nominations. Like, wow.
She's giving Meryl a run for her money.
Man. How old is she? Like 23 or something?
She's like mid-20s, I think. Let me look that up real quick.
25.
Yeah. 4 nominations before the age of 25. And I'm 21 years old, sitting in my dorm. What am I doing with my life?
Oh, Weezer's there.
Huh?
Weezer's there. He's a reward all on its own. An award all on its own.
Thank you. You're right. My
Is
cat.
that your cat's name, Weezer?
Yes.
Oh, what a baby.
He's the best little baby boy. But
He's adorable.
yeah, I think Best Actress this year. I haven't seen it, and it's I think one of 2 nominations it got this yesterday. But I think Renee Zellweger is going to win her Oscar for Judy.
Mm-hmm.
Just because she's been cleaning up, and this seems like one of these anomalies where even like the critics like who've seen it don't really like the movie itself, and I've heard very mixed things about Renee's performance in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how she's doing so well here.
This is also something I haven't seen, so I'm not sure how much I can judge that performance. I always watch the Oscar movies leading up to the Oscars.
Yeah.
But at least the ones I haven't seen. But where is the actress? Yeah, I think Renee Zellweger is gonna be probably too. I've heard a lot of good things about her performance, but I just haven't seen any of the buzz surrounding any of the other performances. Maybe Scarlett Johansson.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Nate.
I did see Judy, and she's great in it. The rest of the movie is fine, but she's won before. I would love to see. I mean, I could see another Glenn Close situation where Glenn Close was winning every big award heading up to the Oscars, and then everyone's like, it's inevitable that she's going to win. And then Olivia Colman beats her.
Queen.
I could see that happen again this year.
That was kind of an awesome moment, though.
Yeah, that was. I was watching the Oscars in the lobby of that night, and as soon as it announced it, I literally stood up and I was like, "What?"
I'm just like, it's been a year later, and I'm still very happy for Olivia Colman.
So great. They should just nominate her for the favorite every year.
I agree.
But I see like Charlize Theron or Scarlett Johansson taking that from her.
I'd be surprised to see Charlize do it, just because Bombshell really didn't get a lot of Academy love, but I know people love Charlize, and she's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If they take away like the Charlize Theron like Bombshell nomination, just fill in Fury Road, I'd be okay with that.
Retroactive, what has it been? 5 years? 5 years later.
I mean, it's gonna happen to Toni Collette for Hereditary, right?
I hope
Definitely.
So.
They changed the rules.
Just nominate their best lifetime performance.
Absolutely.
Me in 300 years, Hereditary should have won an Oscar. At least one. I'm gonna come back from the dead to proclaim it.
Yeah, I will be there right with you. The ghost. So with that, let's move on to Best Director. We have Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, Sam Mendes for 1917, Todd Phillips for Joker, Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, and Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Nate, what are your thoughts on this category?
I'm bummed Greta Gerwig didn't get nominated.
Same.
Like, she directed the H word out of Little Woman. Like, she did one of the best directing jobs of last year. And okay, yeah, I did love Joker, and Todd Phillips did a great job, but I would take him out of that equation and replace him with Greta Gerwig. Because I thought the Academy would learn, and they didn't. Because I thought Greta Gerwig was nominated for Lady Bird, and I thought she did an even better job directing Little Women than she even did with Lady Bird. Like, I think she's one of the most promising filmmakers working in Hollywood.
I agree. One of the best aspects about Little Women is this is a story that's been told many times, adapted into many different films, and Gerwig does something very different with her direction, and it works, and it makes a lot of these emotional moments hit harder, and it's just such a beautiful movie, and I loved every second of it. And it would be nice to have a little bit diversity and not just have 5 guys for best director. What do you think, Tiara?
I'm excited for Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah.
Parasite was like chef's kiss. I
Put that on the poster.
I would have loved to see, because we saw Roma get so much love last year. Best actress, best foreign film, best directing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did it also get best picture, or did it just get best foreign picture?
It was nominated for best picture.
Yeah, I would like to see them give Parasite a little bit more in general, but I'm excited that, you know, it got a directing nod, it got some other stuff.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Parasite did pretty well. It got 6 nominations, including picture. I think the place it's missing is in any of the acting categories would have been cool.
Yeah.
Like, if you have the, I apologize for not remembering their names, but the 2 actresses from Roma getting surprise nominations last year.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe Parasite could pull something like that, where a few of their actors and actresses could get nominated.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, honestly, out of this group, I would like for Bong Joon-ho to win, and I think he has a really good shot. I think it's going to go to Mendes for 1917.
I'm sort of leaning towards Scorsese.
I could see that happening too.
I feel like Oscar voters love their Hollywood royalty, and so there's always like the best option, but then there's also like the easy option. And I feel like Tarantino or Scorsese might be easy options.
No, you definitely make a good point, and they have the backing, and both of their films were each nominated for 10 Oscars. What do you think, Nate? Who do you have winning? Who would you like to see win?
I would definitely like. I mean, I'm a big 1917 stan, so I'd love to see either Sam Mendes or Bong Joon-ho. One of those two I really want to see win. I wouldn't also be surprised if Quentin Tarantino won. He did do a pretty great job just transporting you to 1969 and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I was pleasantly surprised by Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's the least Scorsese movie he's ever made.
You mean least Tarantino?
That's what I meant. I'm sorry. It's also the least Scorsese.
I say something wrong, but it was. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it, and I generally kind of like Tarantino. I don't love everything he does, but like, yeah, I really enjoyed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That was pretty dope.
Yeah. So I feel like, really, like, the more we're talking about this, the more kind of wide open this category seems. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see who takes it.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the big one, big picture, best picture. My bad. Nominees for best picture are 1917, Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. And if you know me, I hope and pray to the movie gods at night that Parasite takes home best picture, because it's my favorite movie of the year, and I feel like we really haven't gotten a movie phenomenon this big with a foreign film before, at least not from recent memory. One that's not just so universally praised by everybody,
right,
but that performs exceptionally well with the nominations. And I think it has a really good chance. But This is the part that kills me to say. Because of what I'm seeing right now, I think Joker's gonna take Best Picture. And
No.
I know you disagree with me, Nate. I'm on the fence about Joker. Like, some days when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, it's all right. And then other days I just actively dislike it. Another quick little fun note I want to bring up for you guys. So, in the past, only 11 films have won Best Picture without at least an editing nomination. So, with that statistic, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Little Women, and 1917 did not get Best Film Editing nominations. So the ones that did get Best Editing were Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, and Parasite. Now, normally, I would say 1917 might be the favorite to win Best Picture, or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but they're both left out of the film editing category, which is kind of surprising. So that's why I say Joker might win. What do you think, Tiara? Anything here that you would have liked to see?
I don't. If the Joker wins, I'm gonna be so just. You know those Above the Influence commercials where the girl is like deflated on the couch? That's gonna be if Joker wins Best Picture. Just, you killed me. I would like to see a surprise like Jojo Rabbit or Parasite or something. Hopefully, I hope Parasite wins, but I don't know.
Can we trust the Academy? Is the best.
I feel like there are so many ways it could go that we just sort of. I feel like always with Best Picture, or at least with the big categories, they try and. It seems like they either try and shake things up, or they don't, or they go like I feel like their rules are so. I don't know. The way they choose stuff is just kind of confusing and a little inconsistent, and I can never tell what's on the Academy's mind.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, just a quick little side note to that, there could be a potential 10 Oscar nominees for Best Picture. They've never done all 10, as far as I remember. They only got to 9. And I honestly think that if there was that 10th spot this year, if it got enough votes, I'm fairly certain it would have went to Knives Out, which kind of breaks my heart that it's not here.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Nate? What are your thoughts on this group, and who do you think is going to take it home?
I still think, because like Birdman won Best Picture and it didn't have the editing nomination. That also was one continuous take, and I'm also still very mad about Birdman winning Best Picture. That's another story. I definitely think it's going to be 1917 that takes it home. I could also see Parasite winning, or The Irishman. I would love to see Jojo Rabbit win, or Parasite, but I don't see the Joker winning. I still don't. I still think, first of all, I just don't want to see Twitter just explode out of anger and excitement. Like the Joker stands being like, man, we told you all guys that this was the greatest movie ever.
Can you imagine Oscar award winning Joker?
And I'm like, can the stand stop? And then the bloggers being like, this is the worst thing to happen since 9/11. I'm like,
oh my God. That's incredible.
And you know what? I would probably say that I saw 2 articles looking like a little bit of research before this that were like, why is the Joker being nominated for anything? It sucks. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. If it wins, it's gonna set the internet on fire.
Yeah.
So you think it's gonna go to 1917 then?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I think the Golden Globes win kind of brought it a little bit more toward the forefront, and seeing the amount of nominations it got this time, yeah, I would not be surprised by that.
Or Once Time in Hollywood wins, because Hollywood does love their Hollywood stories, and that just won the Critics' Choice Awards, and that usually even more so than the Golden Globes. Those are really good precursors to who's going to win the Oscar, and I could definitely see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood taking Best Picture, and I would be totally happy with that.
Yep, I agree with you. Honestly, I'll be happy with a lot of these. Honestly, this is like a really solid lineup. I have not seen Ford v Ferrari.
So good.
That's the only one I haven't seen out this list. I just realized that. Yeah. So a pretty solid Best Picture lineup with the in there and a few omissions. But yeah, those are the major categories. I know, Tiara, you wanted to say some stuff about the shorts, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about them in the beginning. But like I said, I'm just super excited for St. Louis Superman, and in the absence to be nominated, it's really cool to see like these like small films that a lot of people sort of don't know about or see, and they don't get as much attention as the feature films, but they're just as good, if not better, sometimes. Yeah, they're great. So if anyone ever gets a chance to see any of the shorts, the animated shorts, the live shorts, they're all really great. The director of Sister, Sister is about the one-child policy in China. And you find that out at like the very end, and it's done in like this beautiful like felt fabric. It's really great. I got to not interview, but when it premiered at Indie Shorts, we did like a panel and so like it's just cool to see all of these people being nominated for stuff like this. So.
Yeah, it's definitely one of, like I said earlier, it's one of my blind spots, and something every year where I'm just like, I should make more of an effort to go see these smaller shorts, whether they're the animated or the documentary ones.
Dude, just come to Indie Shorts.
Yeah, this is pretty much just leading up to an advertisement for Indie Shorts and how great it is.
For real.
Yeah. So anything else you want to say about those?
No, I'm good.
I'm gonna go down. I'm looking through the list of the rest of the nominations, and there's a few other snubs we haven't reached or talked about yet. One of the more surprising ones, which at least for me it's surprising, I haven't seen it, and I know the critical reception is mixed, but Frozen 2 missing out on animated feature.
Oh, wow.
And its place Claus from Netflix.
Yay.
Which Claus is pretty good.
Oh my god, it's so good.
I have yet to see I Lost My Body, which I hear wonderful things about. How to Train Your Dragon 3 got nominated, and Missing Link, Toy Story 4.
Yay!
I think Toy Story 4 is going to take it. I think Toy Story 4 is a great choice, although I would love to see maybe How to Train Your Dragon 3 take it, just because I think it's a fantastic trilogy, and it hasn't taken one of these awards yet.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if Missing Link or I Lost My Body beat it. I would be mad. Klaus, I wouldn't be mad. No. What?
Have you watched I Lost My Body?
It seems like a weird movie. I'll watch it.
It's very strange. It does look very strange.
I don't know. It seems like, we got to nominate an artsy-fartsy movie. I'm like,
there always seems to be like one of those like animated movies that like very few people have heard of, and they're very out there.
Well, it's just that the reason I'm like that is when I was younger, when I couldn't, like, my parents were pretty strict on what I could watch. I couldn't watch R until I was like in high school, R-rated movies. So I always look forward to the best animated feature category. And if I ever saw like an R-rated movie, I would just be rooting against that because it would be like, then I wouldn't have seen like a big Oscar winner and something like that. And I just think of like a kid out there who's like, oh, I loved Toy Story, or I love Missing Link, or How to Train Your Dragon, or Klaus, and then seen it lose from a movie about a guy's hand falling off, and the hand goes on a journey through France.
That's just Evil Dead 2.
Yeah! Is it Chris Campbell?
That'd be pretty cool.
Thank you. That makes my
head about that.
Let's see. Anything else noteworthy? Oh, John Williams picking up his 52nd nomination for original score for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
That's insane.
Enough's been said about John Williams. Everyone knows him. He is a living legend, and I'm not surprised to see him here. But 52 nominations for this one man. That's insane.
That's nutty.
Yeah.
That's nutty. Let's see. And nothing really else surprises me about this, although Rise of Skywalker getting 3 nominations is kind of, I don't know, because it's not good.
It's not. I was low-key surprised by Beyonce not getting a nomination for for Spirit for Best Original Song.
Yeah, it said instead of its place, the other 4 nominees were pretty much going around in Spirit. The one that took its place is called I'm Standing With You from Breakthrough, which is by Diane Warren, who's been nominated, I think, 11 times.
What is Breakthrough? Who is Diane Warren?
Breakthrough is that Christian movie about, like, I don't know, someone, from what the trailers, I thought it was like someone falling through the ice and they're in a coma.
Yeah, it's with Kirstie Metz from This Is Us, and she plays a mom, and her son is like adopted, and he falls through the ice on like a snow day, and the doctors are like, okay, he's good as dead. And then she prays, and then his heart starts beating again, and it starts this like worldwide movement of faith.
God,
and everything.
so it's literally just like it's just a Christian movie.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's better than most. It's not like PureFlix bad.
Well, that's good. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so
it's like a Heaven is Real or Miracles from Heaven. Those movies with like Jennifer Garner and Greg Kinnear that come out and make money during Easter. It's a lot like that. It's not bad. I kind of saw that nomination coming just because Diane Warren has never won.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I don't think she's gonna win, but yeah, 11 nominations. Some of her more noteworthy songs that you'll recognize: "Because You Loved Me" by Celine Dion, "How Do I Live" by Leanne Rimes, "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" by Aerosmith.
Okay, sis.
So she's sure.
I have the receipts.
Yeah, she's been nominated since 1988. So, if she wins, fine. I have no opinion about Diane Warren.
Yeah, I don't either. I think you guys mentioned it earlier, but Taron Egerton not being nominated for Best Actor, is also disappointing.
I literally,
like, music from Rocket Man got nominated.
I just watched Rocket Man for the first time a few days ago because of Nate let me borrow his DVD. And, even though the movie is kind of basic, it's miles ahead of Bohemian Rhapsody, and Taron Egerton just knocks it out of the park. I thought he was just he's like the soul of the movie, and it fails if he doesn't work. And he's got a great voice too. He sings a lot like it.
Actually sing in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why didn't this get nominated?
I don't know. I think people might be a little bit, with all of the Bohemian Rhapsody stuff that went on last year, maybe they're just all tired out of a musical movie getting so much buzz, but this one deserves it so much more.
I agree.
Taron, he has been promoting his little butt off for this entire press tour, and for him, and he won at the Golden Globes, right?
Yes, he did.
Which was a nice surprise, and he's a nice guy, And yeah, it just seems like all that work for nothing, and he's just gonna have to deal with it. But talented guy, so who knows? He might be here again.
Right.
Any last thoughts about the 92nd Academy Award from either of you?
I like all of the movies nominated for Best Picture a lot, so I'm happy with that. I'm just mad about all the snubs, and I am a little annoyed about the Best Director category. Greta Gerwig not being nominated when, she rocked it out of the park with Little Women, and yet again, there's not a woman nominated for Best Director. That just This was a great year for women directors, like Marielle Heller with Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which she could have made that movie so basic, but she made it so she gave that movie a voice.
Mm-hmm.
That made it so memorable
and very just it's like a in a weird way, it's like a well-spoken movie, if that makes any sense. It just her touch on that movie is really beautiful, and it's probably, with all of these nominations out, I think Beautiful Day only has one nomination. That's might be just one of the most underrated movies of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that it from you, Nate?
Yeah, I really Booksmart didn't get any love. I know it wasn't going to because it's a super bad, but I would have liked to see a screenplay nomination for Booksmart.
Oh, I would have liked you. I wish it would have gotten more love in general. Booksmart was good.
Yeah.
Anything on your end, Tiara?
Not that I haven't mentioned. Yeah, I think I'm good.
The Oscars are gonna Oscar is pretty much the moral of the story.
Exactly. The Oscars are gonna Oscar.
Hopefully in the next couple years, I would like to see the Oscars. I hope because I know a lot of the Academy should have been changing the way it thinks since the first Oscars So White controversy.
That was the overhaul.
And it's happening again this year.
It's been 4 years. We're still sitting here so.
And there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot of visible progress this year, especially. And I hope they take it seriously and start awarding the films and the people who deserve it the most. And
rather than just oh, this is my friend or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. Well, anyways, Parasite for the win for everything. Yes. This is going to conclude the Real Deal Oscar podcast. I'm sure we'll have a lot of coverage once the Academy Awards actually premiere in February 6th or 9th, did I say? It's the 9th. Okay, I just double checked. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts, and our main show should be starting up a lot soon, which is very exciting. I'm happy to be back. So look out for a lot more content coming in the next couple of weeks. As always, I'm Matthew Simmons.
I'm Tiara Spells.
And I'm Nate Richard.
And thank you guys for listening.
Bye-bye.